custom grafting knife for Pete Canaris of Green Dreams, Florida. And I am going to be building a second one to do a giveaway, a collab with Pete. We got the new channel, Justin Grows, and my life revolves around growing fruit trees and making knives. Those are my two passions in life. So yeah, just give us a follow, comment, like the video, and I'm going to be showing the build of Pete's knife. Okay, this is a very high-end stainless steel. I'm going to be building two very similar knives, same quality steel. They will have different handles. One will be given to Pete and one will be a giveaway. So stay tuned, enjoy the video. This is going to be like one of my first videos, editing and all that fun stuff. But yeah, here we go. But I'm doing another one. So what I did was I combined a few different designs together to make a grafting knife. I've made one in the past, and we're doing that giveaway on biddinggrow.com. But the handle seemed like it maybe been a little too small, so I extended it. To me, it felt fine, and like I've said, I have massive hands. For me, it felt perfectly fine. And I just cut this to kind of get a feel for it. And the thumb choil will be here for picking like this. And this piece will nestle up in between the fingers here. It feels like a absolutely perfect, very comfortable design. This will have a big round, bulbous handle to allow quite a bit of purchase. But we're gonna draw the second one out and cut the second one out because I'm gonna build these at the same time. All right. So that's it. You pretty much just get your paper drawn. I design a lot of this stuff in CAD, and then I just print them out as I need them, cut them out, and then you just draw on the steel. Whoops. Heavy grain on this, so it's dragging the marker straight. All right, so we're gonna leave it right there. Okay, here, cutting out the stock steel. Everything's going nice and smoothly, then all of a sudden I run into a problem, which we'll see in the next clip. I mentioned annealed steel. Annealed means in its softened state. So here we go. Usually I get way more than a couple cuts. So I am gonna have to run to Home Depot and get more blades. Before I do that, I don't feel like running out. Maybe I'll try this old one. I just have to get a couple cuts, nothing crazy. So let me hook this one up and see what happens. And here I go for a quick run to Home Depot for some more bandsaw blades. I notice I continuing to have a problem. It's not cutting. I thought it was the blades. It's not the blades. It is the unannealed steel. So I'm gonna have to grind it out, unfortunately, as you'll see in the next clip. Okay, I went and bought new blades. I've never had an issue cutting steel before. This is the oddest thing. I'm just wondering if the back of this is annealed, because usually one of these blades can cut 20 plus blanks out. Brand new blade. All I got were the deep ones, this, and a little bit of this, and the blade shot again. So it looks like I'm gonna have to grind this out by hand, which sucks, but I think that's basically all I could do. All right, so the grinding begins. I'm gonna just grind this all out. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I'm profiling the blade, fixed blade. It's a fixed blade. It's considered a fixed blade, not a folding blade or automatic blade. I'm just profiling it roughly to my lines, and I do make small adjustments as I go along to see how it feels. Here we go in high speed. I switch belts to make it softer, easier when it's in the finished, after it's been heat treated. It's a lot easier to grind now than after heat treatment, so it's nice to get it very close to finished. Here I move to the flat platen to get a straight edge and to do all my little nooks and crannies that I can't get on a wheel. So there we go. All right. Next I test out how it. Here we are, we're at the final shape so far. It feels great. It feels absolutely great. You got nice protection here, so your finger doesn't slide. We got a nice thumb choil here, so you don't get any slipping of the thumb. And then this little piece in the back nuzzles up really nicely between these two fingers for turning or rocking. This is like a little bark peeler, so that will get an edge, but it won't be sharp. It'll just be kind of blunt to peel back bark. But yeah, so far this feels fantastic. So it would be like something like this if you're cutting or going around. But I think we got the shape. Alright, we have the surface grind. The two knives. Made one a little bigger. I still need to do a little more shaping on this one. But they both feel absolutely fantastic in the hand. So it'll basically come down to preference. But before I do that, I have to dress the wheel on the surface grinder. Dressing the wheel to the surface grinder means I am making it perpendicular to the wheel to the table there. That is called a magnetic chuck. It's extremely strong. It holds metal down without it getting thrown under the high speed of the wheel. As you can see, it's twisted. If you could grab a quick look, you can see the steel is twisted, and this will get it perfectly flat on both sides. So that's what I'm doing here. You can still see marker showing, and then I'll hit it again with more marker to make sure I get it in one motion. There we go, perfectly flat. Okay, the next thing I'm doing now is I'm over at the mini mill, and I am drilling out for my hardware holes that will hold the handles in place. You have to do this before heat treat, otherwise you will be trying to go through hardened steel, and good luck with that. So you do this in the annealed stage, and that's it. I'm going to go with gold Juma. I think for the second one, it's an awesome looking material. They use it on pool cues, so it's very durable. Good shock resistance, composite, and it looks a lot like wood. So I think this is going to look really nice. Hard to see it until it's polished. This is how it comes. But yeah, this looks pretty good. Just a couple of stills of it's already been shaped, but there you go. All right, here I'm contouring the handles to make them round because they are flat, and I finish them up to a 2000 grit, and then I hand polish them, and this will give you a nice, comfortable, ergonomical feel. So there you go. I'm just rocking up and down, and that gives you the final fit. Okay, here's the most important part of making a knife, the heat treat. I'm going to try to do this with one hand. It goes in at the equalizing temperature of about 1600 degrees. Okay. It is in stainless steel foil wrap. We're going to heat treat this at 2000 degrees for 20 minutes. Okay, next clip coming up is the actual quench. You've probably seen quenches in oil or water if you've seen any of these popular shows. They do that with carbon steel. This is a stainless steel, so this will get quenched. It's called an air quench and a plate quench. It'll get quenched between two 1-inch thick pieces of aluminum. It'll suck 2000 degrees out in about 4 to 6 seconds. You could literally touch that right now and it'll be cool to the touch. It's quite amazing. It really is quite amazing. So there it is, finished, quenched, and hardened. Here I am now grinding. This is the rough grind, and then I get into the finer grind in the next clip when I take my fleece off over there. Every time I disappear off the screen, I'm quenching it in water to cool it down. You don't want to mess up the heat treat, so you want to keep it cool. Never want to go above like 200-300 degrees while you're grinding. It creates quite a bit of heat. You'll also see me using a pair of micrometers. I am measuring the thickness of the edge, make sure it's even all the way through. That's what I'm doing there. And yeah, there you go. About to be finished. Takes about an hour to grind. And there it is. I go to... Alright, knife is completely ground and finished. It's time to do the last step. And that is to put the scales on. I'm using titanium pivots. And the reason I'm using a pivot style with a barrel is for easy cleaning. This knife is going to be used for doing grafts and cutting plant matter, which contains sap, and some saps are corrosive, like latex and stuff, sticky, gross. So this way, the owner of the new knife can easily take it apart and clean it. Everything lines up nice and perfectly. That's it, just like that. And you put your screws in. Just like that. Usually fixed blades have glued handles. Not a huge fan of that. You can never get the handles off in case, you had to. What's nice about this too is I could change these in the future if I wanted to. Very, very easily. Which is very cool. And Here is the finished product. This thing is a razor. A nice satin flat finish. Removable scales for cleaning sap. And there it is. A finished knife. This is going to Pete Canaris of Green Dreams TV in Florida. Hopefully Pete makes some good grafting videos for us using this knife. This little horn on top is a bark peeler. So when you cut your wood, say you're doing like an air layer or something, or you're cutting the cleft graft. This isn't too sharp, but it's thin enough to get in there and kind of pry the bark. It has the perfect amount of flex. It's been tempered, heat treated and tempered to about a 59 Rockwell. Shouldn't require much sharpening, just occasional stroke on leather. And there it is. She's done. And yes, this is a chisel grind. That way you have a flat here and you don't get a V-shaped cut. You get a nice straight cut. Alright everyone, I hope you enjoyed the video. Bye-bye.